2025, and the news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us this Thursday morning. I am Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm meteorologist James Stefazio, in for Eric.
And a lot to get to this morning, and we were talking right before the show started. We were very fortunate because, when Eric and I were sitting here Tuesday morning, we were talking about the potential for some really heavy rain coupled with the snowpack, but things were a little bit less than, thankfully, than
it stopped just in time.
Sure.
It really did. We did have the flood advisory come out last night around midnight or so, and Bill was tracking that last night, but we really didn't see any widespread flooding. It was more just ponding on roadways, generic, your typical poor drainage area flooding.
Right.
But no major issues, thankfully, and the biggest flood threat has passed, thankfully. So now we have to deal with a return to wintry weather, unfortunately, which I'm sure no one's too excited to see. But across the North Country, we already have snow showers. We've already transitioned. Temperatures are above freezing, but unfortunately, it has already transitioned over to snow. Slowly, things will things will transition over to snow for all of us, but it's going to be a very gradual process. It's going to take a while. It's going to take the longest for areas like downtown Utica to cool down back below the freezing mark. As you can see off to the side there, there is quite a bit of ponding on the roadways. I did hydroplane a little bit on my way in today before I realized I needed to slow down. Current local temperatures, we're still above freezing across the North Country, but it's cold enough for snow showers, which means it's probably not sticking across the North Country, but it is coming down as snow. We are expecting these temperatures to slowly decline as we head into the mid-morning hours and then into the early afternoon. We don't dip back below freezing until shortly after sunset later this evening. It's 35 and cloudy, down to 6-mile-an-hour breeze out of the northwest. It is going to stay very, very windy today. We're tracking widespread snow makes its return tonight, a widespread 1 to 3 inches. 3 to 5 inches in areas possible to both the northwest of Utica and south and west of Utica. Higher elevations, primarily the 3 to 5, but a widespread 1 to 3. And we are going to see additional snow into the day on Friday. It does become a little bit more localized as we head into Friday as lake effect develops. Today, though, those rain and snow showers with windy conditions, as the day progresses, it's going to become more wintry. We'll all transition over to plain snow by the time the sun sets this evening and the temperatures drop into the mid-30s. We're continuing to track that snow into this weekend coming up. We'll go into further details with that snowfall forecast as well as what to expect for the weekend. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Last month, Utica Mayor Mike
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. We're taking a look at conditions as you head out the door this morning on our Munson Traffic Commute Cast. We're seeing primarily wet conditions. However, that's going to change as we head into the evening hours today. We're already seeing the first hints of that cold air that's going to arrive today across the North Country, where rain is changing over to snow across northern Oneida and northern Herkimer counties. Temperatures are still above freezing in that area. However, it is cold enough to promote snow. Don't believe it's sticking just yet. That is going to slowly change as the day progresses. We're also starting to see some indications of some snow showers on the southern hills as well. This is going to slowly transition today, but for your morning commute, your primary concern is going to be ponding on roadways. You're going to want to give yourself some extra time to stop just in case of any hydroplaning issues. We're not seeing any issues yet from the wintry weather across the North Country, which, again, I don't believe any of that snow is quite reaching the ground just yet. We did lose quite a bit of snow yesterday down here in Sherburne. You can actually see the grass down there for the first time in quite some time. Your estimated drive times today, give yourself a couple of extra minutes. Otherwise, everything is pretty much on time. Your commute forecast We're expecting minor issues both for your ride in and your ride home, which is why we have the yellow. Ponding on roadways for your AM commute. Your PM commute, we're expecting temperatures to drop below freezing shortly after 6 p.m. So if you're north or south of the valley, you're going to want to be careful. Keep an eye on that temperature. Areas of black ice are going to develop as we head into this evening. Coming up in full weather, we're going to be tracking how cold we're going to get tonight as well as how much snow you can expect as we make our return into winter before this weekend. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. And a notable policy walkback, President.
Don't let the weather spoil your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
Boilermaker registration.
Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Thursday morning. We're tracking winter's return today, unfortunately. But we did dodge the absolute worst case scenario of major widespread flooding. Things do not look like they're going to be too bad. Our flood advisory has expired without any major issues occurring, and the heaviest of precipitation has moved out of the region. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. You can see that the damage has been done on the snowpack, it did a number on snowpack region-wide. There is still snow on the ground in the Utica area, but man, is there a lot less than there was. The one thing that we want to point out, though, on the Nexus cam right now, you can see that there is standing water on the sides of the roadways. There is ponding on quite a few of the roadways that are out there, so if you're doing any traveling, please be mindful of that. Just give yourself a little extra time to stop. Showers today gradually change from rain over to snow, and temperatures drop throughout the day today. Widespread snow develops tonight, and then lake effect snow actually continues tomorrow. We're going to see more snow during the day on Friday. We have a wind advisory in effect. It goes into effect at 3 p.m. this afternoon. It lasts until 4 a.m. Monday, and that is for gusts up to 50 miles an hour. We're going to be seeing very gusty winds for the next several days. You can see across our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, we have a nice spread of showers still blanketing the region, the heaviest of which have moved off to the east, to the north, and to the east. We are starting to see a change over to snow across the North Country, primarily just northern Herkimer, northern Oneida counties. Those areas are still slightly above freezing. We're 35 degrees in Rome. The winds have died down a little bit, but they are going to get back up there, trust me. Last night we saw quite a bit of wind as well, so we're seeing a little bit of a lull in the wind, but it's going to return. Across the North Country, we are above freezing still, despite that snow falling. That will change as we head into the afternoon today. Across central Oneida County and across the Mohawk Valley, temperatures are a little bit more moderate, but again, these are going to drop as the day continues. This is going to take the longest period of time today to cool off across the southern hills. A widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected tonight, 3 to 5 inches on the hilltops across southwest Madison County, as well as the hilltops northwest Oneida County. Outside of that, a general 1 to 3 inches region-wide. Widespread snow really doesn't develop until after sunset, and then it becomes more localized after midnight. You can see on our longer radar and satellite loop here that the majority of the precipitation has moved off to the north and east, but we're already starting to see some lake response off of Lake Erie, and we're going to see lake moisture coming our direction for the majority of the day and for most of Friday as well. It's going to stay windy through the first half of the weekend. It's even going to be breezy on Sunday, but we're tracking that snow to arrive later today. The rain showers come to an end this morning. As we head into the afternoon hours, we're down into the 30s region-wide. We look at that snow showers become widespread. They start to become more localized as we head towards the overnight, but they're still relatively around, which is why we're going to see that 1 to 3 inches widespread. We head into Friday. Region-wide snow yet again, additional light accumulations as we head into Friday, and then just cold, dry weather for Saturday. Today, those showers that are slowly going to completely change over to snow. Your 7-day forecast. Winter makes its return today. We drop back below freezing tonight. We're going to be on the lookout for icy conditions Friday morning. Cold and dry for your Heart Walk forecast, but definitely chilly, possibly some sunshine. We spring forward on Sunday. Cold and dry weather continues. We actually do start a very substantial warm-up as we head into the middle of next week. Temperatures back into the upper 40s.
All right, thanks a lot, James. That mixed bag continues.
Yes, it
well,
does.
it is spring break season where many...
News with Steve McMurray.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
I'm meteorologist James Tafazio, in for Eric.
And we've got a lot to get to, but we want to get right to the forecast. And we were saying earlier, a significant warm-up yesterday, significant snow melt, even some rain, but no major flooding concerns. We avoided that, which
We
is
got
good.
very, very lucky in terms of, it came very close. The heavy rain was right, as it moved out, we were starting to see some flood concerns. Fortunately, it moved out just in time before anything really crested at any flood stage. A couple had reached action stage, but no minor flooding. Just ponding on roadways was the primary issue yesterday. But now we have to deal with our return to winter today, a slow return back into winter. So we're going to slowly see temperatures decline today, and we're going to end up tracking a freeze for tonight. We're going to drop, we will warm up a little bit at Griffiths from 35 here. I do expect us to pop up to about 38, 39 degrees at the very least. But we will slowly warm up today. It's going to take a very long time this morning to peak. Once the front does arrive, we're eventually going to drop down below freezing. It's going to take quite a bit of time, though. Showers gradually change from rain to snow today as temperatures drop. We don't expect the freezing point to be met until about right around sunset, 5 to 6 p.m., a little bit earlier north and south of the valley. Widespread snow develops late tonight, and then lake effect snow continues into the day on Friday. And we have a wind advisory issued for 3 p.m. Thursday through 4 a.m. Friday for the chance for gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. Currently, temperatures across the region cold across the North Country, but not quite below freezing just yet. The warmest air is across the southern valleys of Otsego counties. We're to the east there. We're still seeing some 40s hanging on across the southern valleys, but these temperatures are going to slowly drop. They'll peak around mid-morning and then start a steady decline throughout the second half of the morning and into the beginning of the afternoon. Taking a look at your live Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar, you can see some snow showers across the North Country. Even though it's above freezing, we're still seeing snow falling across northern Oneida and northern Herkimer counties. Rain showers for the rest of us through the Mohawk Valley, across central New York, and throughout the southern tier. Slowly, these will continue to shift to the north and to the east, and we're actually going to see some dry weather before snow showers make their return. We'll see a brief period of dry weather this morning, and then widespread snow returns this evening. We're going to be tracking snow showers into the day on Friday. Lake effect snow develops on Friday, becomes a little bit more localized in areas, but begins to wind down before we head into Saturday for your Heart Walk forecast. We're just expecting dry and cold weather. Coming up in full, we'll have details on how much snow you can expect and just how cold it's going to get. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. The Sangertown Square shooting suspect was...
Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Good Thursday morning. We continue to track winter's return today. It's currently 35 degrees up in Rome, but we're not going to be hanging on to those temperatures for the entirety of the day. By the end of the day, we are going to be below freezing. We're going to track showers that are gradually going to change over from rain to snow today. Temperatures drop steadily throughout the day. Widespread snow develops tonight, a widespread 1 to 3 inches, and then we're also tracking windy conditions to develop, and they will continue through the weekend. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. Lithium-ion batteries are in so many things around us.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Time now is 5:47. Time to welcome the newest member of our Morning Mug Club, brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist James James DeFazio.
Good Thursday morning. We're tracking winter's return today, but we're still dealing with some of the lingering effects from the heavy rain of yesterday. We're still under a flood watch as certain rivers are going to continue to rise. We just got word that Route 5 in Kirkland is closed due to flooding from the Oriskany Creek. So please be careful. There are certain waterways out there that are going to continue to rise, such as the Mohawk River, for example. Take a look at downtown Utica. You can see that there is some ponding on the roadways as well, and that is a bit of a concern. You're going to want to give yourself some extra time to slow down and stop this morning because hydroplaning could absolutely occur with the amount of snow melt, the amount of rain we've seen over the last 24 hours. We're tracking showers today gradually going to transition from rain over to snow. Temperatures decline throughout the day today. Widespread snow develops tonight around sunset, and then lake effect snow continues during the day on Friday. A wind advisory has been issued. It goes into effect 3 p.m. this afternoon, expires 4 a.m. Friday, and that is for very gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. But even before and after the advisory, we will stay very, very gusty. It's going to be a very, very windy couple of days. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, some snow showers across northern Herkimer, northern Oneida County. Temperatures still above freezing here, but this cold air aloft is promoting snow to fall, and we're going to see that cold air continue to eventually make its way to the surface as the day continues. The Mohawk Valley, central New York, and southern valleys just seeing some lingering light showers, some lingering light rain this morning, which will slowly come to an end over the next hour to two as this continues to slide east. 35 and cloudy at Rome, currently not reporting any precipitation. Only a 6-mile-an-hour wind. That's going to continue to increase. And yes, I do have a snowfall map, unfortunately. Tonight, widespread snow returns. We're going to see a widespread 1 to 3 inches across central New York. We're also going to be seeing a freeze. Temperature drops below freezing tonight, and we're going to see a widespread not necessarily a flash freeze, but a widespread freeze, a widespread hard freeze. The heaviest of precipitation has moved off to the east. We see that those temperatures today relatively stable. They might climb up a degree or two before they begin their steady decline. As we head into the afternoon hours, you can see we really start to drop off. We're below freezing by the early evening hours, 25 around 8:30 p.m. with widespread snow across the area. That widespread snow stays through the area until about Friday morning, and then snow becomes much more scattered and localized as we head into the day on Friday. Lake effect snow continues through the day on Friday before a cold, dry Saturday. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we go back below freezing tonight. We have to be mindful of patchy black ice as we head into Friday morning. Windy conditions continue into the day on Saturday. Dry and cold for the weekend. Your Heart Walk looks dry but cold. We spring forward on Sunday with more dry but cold weather. And then we enter a warming trend as we head into the work week. We slowly warm up, upper 30s Monday, and we actually settle into the upper 40s for a couple of days.
And then that might be over the hump, and then all right, we'll see. We don't want to jinx it. All right, thanks a lot, James. Well, a new cancer study published right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray.
And good Thursday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
I'm meteorologist James DeFazio, in for Eric.
And we got an update on Gary before we get to the flooding.
Yes.
Gary came in yesterday. He's going to come back gradually while he recovers from his knee surgery.
It's nice to see him.
Good to see Gary yesterday, and he will be back in this chair sooner rather than later. But you got me for the next couple days, and James is here for Eric. And want to get this just happened in the past 15 minutes. Very important commute note about Route 5, the usual area in Kirkland.
Yes, the normal flooding spot over by the, in between the two gas stations on Route 5 in Kirkland. It's the same area that typically floods. The Oriskany Creek likes to swell in this location in between Limberlost and 233. That is where the road is currently closed. In Kirkland. And again, we don't really have an estimate on when this is going to be reopened. It's going to probably be most of the day today. Stick back. We will have updates as they're available, but closed until further notice. If you're commuting on 5 this morning, you're going to have to take a different route. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar showing that most of the rain has ended. We are still seeing some light showers across the Mohawk Valley, but they're beginning to transition over to just cloudy skies. We're still seeing some very, very light rain coming down in Utica and Rome, but that will begin to subside over the next hour to two. Ponding on roadways, though, and the snow melt, the damage has been done. If you're doing any commuting this morning, give yourself some extra time to slow down. There is the chance that we see any additional flooding today. Certain rivers will continue to rise, such as the Mohawk River. The flood watch remains in effect through 5 p.m. It's still above freezing across the North Country despite those snow showers coming down. Temperatures will slowly decline during the day today, still in the 40s across the southern valleys as well. But again, we're going to see those temperatures slowly come down today. It's 36 and cloudy in Rome. We're also going to see the wind climb way up there today. We're tracking snowfall for tonight, a widespread 1 to 3 inches. Some higher amounts to the northwest and southwest of Utica, possible 3 to 5. Rain gradually changes over to snow today. We peak right around 42 degrees. We'll have more information coming up with exactly how cold it's going to get, how windy it's going to get, and how much snow you can expect for the rest of the weekend. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. Don't forget that Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, last month,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back and good morning. We're taking a look at conditions as you head out the door this morning on our Munson Commute Cast. We have quite a bit of colors on here. We got a mix of everything coming down right now, but primarily rain showers across the lower elevations, some wet snow showers across northern Oneida and northern Herkimer counties. These are beginning to move out of our area, and as they continue to track northeast, we're going to have primarily cloudy conditions for the majority of the daytime today. But the damage has been done. We've seen a ton of snow melt. We've seen a lot of rainfall. The roads are very wet, so if you're doing any travel out there, give yourself extra time to slow down because there is ponding on roadways. We also want to make you aware Route 5 in Kirkland has been closed due to flooding from the Oriskany Creek. We do expect primarily most waterways are going to continue to drop today, but the larger waterways such as the Mohawk River, that has not crested yet. The Oriskany Creek will crest soon, but it has not yet crested. We are seeing some minor travel issues both north of the valley. However, those are all associated with flood issues, with poor drainage, slow goes from that. Look at this though. Now that the sun has come up, I can see that I have proof. There is grass peeking out in spots across New York State, across Otsego, Chenango counties. We're starting to see some of the ground make its return. Travel times primarily okay. You might want to give yourself a couple of extra minutes. We're primarily okay, but like I said, we are putting out the yellow for ponding on roads. We don't expect a perfect ride in for your AM commute. Your ride home tonight, depending on if you're north or south of the valley, you may freeze early. You're going to want to keep an eye to the temperature. Areas of black ice develop this evening after sunset as we do drop below freezing. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how much snow we're going to expect both tonight and as well as into Friday. Steve?
all right, James, thanks. And a notable policy walkback, President Trump.
Swell your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commute Cast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commute Cast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Thursday morning. We continue to track winter's return for this evening, but we're still dealing with some ramifications from the widespread snow melt that we had, as well as that widespread rainfall. We're seeing high water levels across the area. Not too many flood issues, but a couple to make you aware of. Route 5 on Kirkland is closed due to flooding from the Oriskany Creek. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. You can see that the snowpack has taken quite the hit. We've lost a good amount of snow from all this rain and these mild temperatures, but there's also quite a bit of ponding on the roadways as a result of this. So if you're doing any traveling this morning, your morning commute, make sure to give yourself some extra stopping time. I did do a little bit of hydroplaning on my way in this morning. Showers gradually change over today from rain to snow, but we're going to see primarily mostly cloudy skies develop for the mid-morning hours, but then snow showers return in earnest this evening. Widespread snow develops tonight, and lake effect snow continues on Friday. The wind also returns today. Wind advisory advisory is issued for 3 p.m. Thursday through 4 a.m. Friday due to gusts possibly up to 50 miles an hour. Your York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Most of central New York now just seeing sprinkles or cloudy skies. Off to the north of the valley, still some light precipitation falling, primarily as rain, but there is some wet snow across northern Oneida and northern Herkimer counties. Temperatures are above freezing in these locations, so this cold air is aloft, not at the surface. But as the day progresses, it will slowly reach the surface. We're going to slowly see temperatures drop throughout the day today. 36 and cloudy up in Rome. Currently calm winds, which is not going to stay that way. Winds are really going to ramp up as the day goes on. We're going to see winds gusty through the weekend, into the second half of the weekend. And then winter makes its return tonight. Widespread snow develops around sunset time, shortly after sunset, and a widespread 1 to 3 inches falls across central New York. Some localized higher amounts both southwest and northwest of the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 5 inches possible. We also want to make you aware that be careful because we're expecting a widespread freeze tonight. We're going to drop back below freezing for the first time in several days, and with the amount of water that's out there, we're going to want to be careful as to, anything that goes untreated will be icy. Today, cloudy skies this morning as we get that little bit of a lull and as that front continues to move out. Then as this cold air continues to work in, the lake effect machine turns on by the middle portions of the day. We start to see light lake effect snow showers. They become more widespread after sunset. Then it turns over to a multi-band lake effect setup as we head into Friday morning. We're going to be seeing lake effect snow showers into Friday afternoon before things calm down and dry out for Saturday. We're tracking a primarily cold, dry weekend. For Heart Walk, your Heart Walk forecast, it's going to be relatively nice, but it is going to be chilly. We're going to be in the low to mid 20s during the walk itself. Sunday, similar weather but slightly warmer. We're tracking warmer weather for next week as well. We warm all the way up into the upper 40s by the middle of next week. And it looks like that warmth might stick around for a little while.
All right, that is the hope. Thanks a lot, James. Well, it's spring break season where many Americans...
With Steve McMurray.
And good Thursday morning to you. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
I'm meteorologist James Fazio, in for Eric.
We're going to start this half hour with a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and it's that time of year. Route 5 in Kirkland has a closure on it. Why don't you fill us in what's going on?
Yearly closure, yes. We're dealing with some rising waters still. The Sequoia Creek has crested. The Oriskany Creek has not crested yet. Route 5 is closed in Kirkland from Limberlost to Route 233 due to flooding. That is the only road closure that we are aware of at this time. If anything else comes in, we'll obviously make you aware. We're not seeing any widespread flood issues, but again, there's isolated issues. There's plenty of water on the roadways. So if you're doing any travel this morning, be sure to give yourself some extra time to stop and slow down. Your York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar showing that the steadiest of precipitation has moved off to the north and east. We are just going to see some lighter showers as the day progresses. Those lighter showers are going to be in the form of rain for the most part, but they will slowly transition over to snow by this evening. Taking a look at downtown Utica, you can see those wet roadways. Snowpack has taken quite a hit. We lost a good amount of snow yesterday, but it's not completely gone just yet in the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures across the North Country still above freezing. These temperatures are going to slowly decline throughout the day today. We're going to see temperatures reach the freezing mark around 4 to 5 p.m. this evening. It's currently 36 and cloudy in Rome. Calm winds, that is also going to change. Winter makes its return tonight, a widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow, some higher amounts to the north and to the northwest and southwest of Utica. We're going to see lingering snow continue into the day on Friday. We'll have further information on that coming up in full weather. Today, that rain changes over to entirely snow. Highs are going to be in the upper 40s and are occurring this morning, right around now. We're going to start to see temperatures decline as the morning progresses. That all rain change over to snow and a light accumulation this evening. We'll have further information on what you can expect for Friday as well as for the weekend. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, James. Don't put that snow shovel away just yet. Well, the Sangertown School
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Good Thursday morning and welcome back. we're tracking some changing conditions. The temperature today is going to drop. We just saw it drop from 36 to 34 as I clicked the button there, so it may have already started to drop, but if not, we're going to see relatively stable temperatures through the morning, a steady decline in temperatures throughout the afternoon. We don't reach the freezing point until right around dinner time, between 4 and 6 p.m. this evening. Showers gradually change over from rain to snow today as temperatures decline. Widespread snow develops tonight. Lake effect snow continues through the day tomorrow, Friday, and wind advisory is issued for 3 p.m. Thursday through 4 a.m. Friday due to the chance for wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Current temperatures around the area primarily in the 30s, a couple areas to the hanging on to low 40s, but all of us above freezing. Still, that will change as we head into the evening hours. Taking a look at your Yorkville battery Doppler radar, some lingering snow showers across northern Herkimer County, but those are slowly moving out of the region. Coming up in full weather, we'll give you an idea of how much snow you can expect for this evening. Steve?
All right, James, look forward to that. Lithium-ion batteries are in so many...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
It's 6:46, time to welcome the newest member of our Morning Mug Club, brought to you by Holland Farm.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Thursday morning. Widespread rain is coming to an end across central New York. We're tracking winter's return. However, the damage from that widespread rain has been done. We are seeing some flooding issues across the area. Not widespread, a couple of sporadic issues. One to make you aware of, Route 5 on Kirkland is closed due to flooding from Limberlost Road to Route 233, and that's the Oriskany Creek. The Sequoia Creek has crested. Some of the larger waterways like the Mohawk River have not. Take a look at downtown Utica. You can see how much of that snowpack we've lost. There's grass peeking out in places. It's definitely a wet one out there to begin the day, and we're going to see wet conditions on all of your roadways on your morning commute as well. So if you're doing any traveling this morning, give yourself some extra time to stop. There definitely could be some hydroplaning issues and some poor drainage areas. Those showers that linger today that are predominantly over to cloudy skies until the early afternoon hours now, when then we're going to see snow showers return. Temperatures begin to drop as we head into the afternoon hours. Widespread snow develops tonight, and then lake effect snow continues into the day on Friday. We have a wind advisory in effect from 3 p.m. Thursday until 5 a.m. Friday morning. And that's for wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. The Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, relatively quiet at this point. We're waiting for that snow showers to continue to develop and work in from the west. It's 34 up in Rome with cloudy skies. This will increase a few degrees before we start to drop. The wind has picked up from calm up to 5 miles an hour. We do expect that to just steadily increase as the day progresses. It's only going to get windier. It's going to stay breezy through the weekend as well. Windy conditions last through the day on Saturday, and it's still even breezy into the day on Sunday while not windy. Tonight, winter makes its return. A widespread 1 to 3 inches across central New York. A couple of areas of higher totals, both southwest and northwest of Utica, may see 3 to 5 inches of snow, but all in all, a 1 to 3 inch widespread snowfall. And you can see most of the heavier precipitation has moved up and out of the north, up and out of central New York, off to the north and to the east. And that's why we're not really expecting too many more flood issues to develop today. That flood watch is in effect through the afternoon hours as some of the larger waterways continue to climb, such as the Mohawk River. You can see that we have primarily cloudy skies for the rest of the morning. So we head into those early afternoon hours. Those flurries begin to show up. Those lighter snow showers off to the west. As we head into the early evening hours, they overspread the region. Light snow continues into the day on Friday. Widespread light snow throughout the day on Friday before dry, cold conditions settle in for Friday night and during the day on Saturday. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we're tracking cold but calm and dry conditions for your Heart Walk on Saturday. Slightly warmer as we spring forward on Sunday, but still relatively chilly in the mid-30s. And then we begin a steady warm-up as we head into next week. We climb up into the upper 30s on Monday. We're up into the upper 40s on Tuesday and Wednesday. And fortunately, it looks to stay above freezing for at least for the forecast period we can see about 2 weeks or so. No real shot of winter there. No major storms on the horizon.
Tomorrow. After tonight and tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We'll take it. All right.
This might be our last hit.
We'll see. All right. Thanks a lot, James. Well, a new cancer study published.
Steve McMurray.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary this noontime. Well, between rain and snowmelt, we did wake up to some localized flooding this morning, and even though the rain stopped in most areas, the threat of flooding not quite over yet. We're going to head straight to meteorologist James DeFazio is in the Weather Center and is keeping a close eye on rivers, streams, and creeks. James, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're keeping an eye on all of our local waterways. So far, we only have one issue that we are aware of, and that is on the Oriskany Creek. We actually are live from the Oriskany Creek right now. We have a live stream going on Facebook if you'd like to see the current flooding conditions down in Kirkland. Route 5 is still closed. We also have the Sequoia Creek cam up. Fortunately, both of these creeks have either crested or are about to crest. There's the road closure for you right here, right between Limberlost and Route 233. Route 5 in Kirkland is closed until further notice, and that's due to the Oriskany Creek flooding. Fortunately, it is beginning to crest now. Downtown Utica, things have dried out. Temperatures across the area, they're beginning to drop, but they really haven't dropped much yet. We're going to see these temperatures really steadily drop as we head into the afternoon hours. We're going to go from the upper 30s down into the lower 30s, eventually all the way into the upper 20s by tonight. It's 37 degrees with cloudy conditions. We're up to 10 miles an hour. That wind is only going to continue to increase tonight. We're tracking a widespread snowfall for this evening, a widespread 1 to 3 inches for everyone, 3 to 5 inches on the hilltops, both northwest and southwest of Utica. It's going to remain windy into the overnight and into tomorrow. We actually are under a wind advisory. We're going to have more information coming up on that snowfall that's arriving, as well as what you can expect for the weekend. Steve?
All right, James, thanks a lot. And after hearing James' forecast, it's no surprise that we woke up to road closed signs on one of the usual trouble spots. That's Route 5 in Kirkland between Route 233 and Limberlost Road, and that's because the Oriskany Creek went over its banks early this morning, unleashing just enough water onto Route 5 to make it impassable for cars. We'll let you know when that stretch of road opens back up. And when we were there this morning, the West Canada Creek was flowing fine, but some of the smaller creeks and streams that feed into it were starting to look a bit angry. Our meteorological staff is watching the local waterways very closely, and James DeFazio will have his first full forecast this noon coming up in less than 10 minutes, and we will keep you apprised of any updates. Well, just into our newsroom in the past.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Thursday afternoon. Widespread rainfall has come to an end, but we continue to monitor area creeks and streams due to continually rising waters in certain waterways. The ponding on roadways, though, has subsided for pretty much. We're only really seeing some sprinkles this morning and some flurries across the North Country, and that's going to continue through the afternoon. We're not going to see any more widespread rain. We will continue to monitor some of our local waterways. The Oriskany Creek, especially, the Oriskany Creek is the only one currently having any issues, but we're monitoring the Mohawk River as well as Fish Creek. Scattered showers today change over from rain to snow. We're going to only really see flurries and sprinkles this afternoon as temperatures steadily decline this afternoon, but they will transition over from sprinkles to flurries. And widespread snow develops this evening. Lake effect snow continues during the day on Friday, and we have a wind advisory in effect. It goes into effect at 3 p.m. this afternoon, continues until 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's for gusts possible up to 50 miles per hour, possibly isolated power outages. They would be few and far between, but they are possible. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, a couple sprinkles, a couple flurries out there, but mostly quiet, mostly cloudy skies across the region, and that's going to continue until we see snow work its way in later this afternoon, in the late afternoon hours. It's 37 degrees in Rome. It has been for about 4.5 hours now. It's been holding steady. The wind has creeped up all the way from calm to 10 miles per hour. We're going to see this only continue to increase. The winds are going to continue to ramp up throughout the afternoon into the evening. We're expecting that widespread snowfall to arrive early evening evening. Tonight, a widespread 1 to 3 inches for central New York. A couple higher amounts are possible both northwest and southwest of Utica, across the hills of Madison County and the hills of northwest Oneida County. 3 to 5 inches are possible. We are also monitoring the chance or the expected widespread freezing for tonight. We're going back below freezing for the first time after being thawed for several days. We're going to see some patchy black ice anywhere that goes untreated tonight. On the radar and satellite, you can see back to the west that widespread snow beginning to work into western New York. It'll slowly come into central New York and overspread the region as we approach the evening hours. Your wind outlook as we head forward over the next couple of days, unfortunately, it doesn't look to go anywhere. While the peak winds occur overnight tonight, it stays very windy with 30 to 40 mile per hour winds Friday into the day on Saturday. They begin to die down Saturday night into Sunday, but it remains breezy. We're not enough to call it calm, still 10 to 20 miles per hour. Taking a look at the skycast for today, primarily mostly cloudy this afternoon, a couple of flurries. That steadier snow begins to arrive as we head into the late afternoon, early evening. Widespread snow through the early evening hours. Temperatures drop very quickly. By 8 p.m., we're already down into the low to mid 20s across the area. By Friday morning, the snow is more localized. We're dealing with more lake effect snow showers throughout the day on Friday. Additional light accumulation, that snow map includes that snow as well. We only warm up to about the upper 20s to mid 30s, or excuse me, upper 20s to low 30s, and then it dries out, and then we get another shot of very light snow Saturday night into Sunday morning Friday night into Saturday morning before things quiet down for a calm Saturday. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, it is going to get all the way down to 21 degrees. We're going to really cool down this afternoon. We're going to drop below freezing approximately 4 p.m. Please be mindful of that if you're on your evening commute. Your 7-day forecast, we're tracking a few things. We have a very windy weather through the first half of the weekend. Fortunately, though, things do dry out on Saturday for the Heart Walk. It does look cold, it does look blustery, but it looks relatively dry. We might see a couple of flurries during the Heart Walk, but aside from that, it's going to be calm, and then we warm up considerably next week. And it looks to stay that way.
That may be where it stays. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to hold you to that just yet because everything can change. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray.
I'm meteorologist James Stavazio.
And we were talking earlier about about the rain and the melt, and got some good news regarding the Oriskany Creek.
Oriskany Creek has peaked, or has crested as of noon. So the USGS has released stream gauge data that the amount of water coming through the Oriskany Creek in Oriskany has gone down a little bit over the last hour. So we are expecting conditions to slowly improve region-wide. Things are going to get better. That widespread rain has ended. For the most part, areas, creeks and streams have peaked. There are a few that we're still monitoring. We're monitoring the Oriskany Creek. We're live on Facebook right now if you'd like to watch coverage of that. Route 5 in Kirkland remains closed from the Oriskany Creek. We're also continuing to monitor the Sequoia Creek for any additional ice that may get dislodged. But the main additional waterway that we're monitoring is the Mohawk River, because that's going to take the longest of time to rise. Your Yorkford Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, a couple flurries and sprinkles out there, but all in all, primarily a mostly cloudy afternoon. There's that road closure from Route 233 to Limberlost Road on Route 5 in Kirkland, and that is going to be closed for the majority of the day today while waters begin to subside. Downtown Utica, things are beginning to dry out. Our snowpack took quite a hit from that rainfall. We're starting to see that cold air work in now. The front has cleared the area. First area that has hit the freezing mark up in Otter Lake. Everyone else primarily in the mid to upper 30s, a couple of 40 degrees out there. The southern tier, slightly warmer in the upper 30s across the southern tier. These temperatures are going to steadily decline this afternoon. We're going to go below freezing by this evening. We're looking at temperatures around, we're going to go from the mid 30s down into the mid 20s by this evening. Winds are going to continue to increase as well, currently at 10 miles an hour. Widespread snow arrives tonight. We're going to be tracking that both through tonight, through the day on Friday, as well as into the weekend. Coming up in full weather, we're going to break down that snowfall forecast, when you should expect the snow, how much you should expect, as well as that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Steve?
All right, James, thanks. A new winter storm is gaining strength today on the heels of a massive and deadly one that's now pushing out of the U.S. South of those weather systems, the lack of precipitation is the problem, as dry conditions are bringing the risk of wildfires to multiple states. Amy Kiley takes a look at today's weather worries in our nation.
It's a story of fire and ice as many states cope with severe weather today. Forecasters say a critical fire danger is back in Texas and the Southwest after this week's evacuations in parts of the Lone Star State and Tennessee.
It was just pitch smoke, like everything was hard to see.
A winter storm with near record strength is pushing out of the U.S. today. At least 3 people are dead due to severe thunderstorms in Mississippi. Police say 2 others died in Nebraska's winter weather. Parts of the Midwest are digging out after blizzard conditions. The resulting snow is a hassle for some.
I totally got stuck by the snow, and I'm trying to remove snow, so it's kind of ironic, right?
For others, the winter weather is a blast.
I got the laptop at home, but I shut that, come outside and make a magic moment with her.
Now a new storm system around the Great Basin is bringing rain or snow to multiple states today.
There will be mud again.
In L.A. County, parts of Sierra Madre are under evacuation warnings due to the risk of mud flows. The area is saturated from rain earlier this week, and this nearby debris basin is clogged from last month's storms. Some residents fear a repeat of that disaster.
It just washed all the soil away from underneath the house.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Multiple fire companies were called to battle.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Thursday afternoon. Widespread rain has come to an end, and now we're tracking a widespread cool down and ahead of widespread snow showers that are going to arrive early this evening. Taking a look at downtown Utica, you can see things are starting to dry out. We definitely avoided the worst case scenario with this rain and snow melt over the last 24 to 36 hours. The only current issues that we're aware of are along the Oriskany Creek, and they're only seeing minor flooding in Kirkland, and Route 5 is closed. Aside from that, though, we're not seeing too many flood issues across the area. We will continue to monitor that. But now our focus is beginning to transition into the freeze that is going to occur over the next several hours. Temperatures are going to steadily drop this afternoon into this evening. We're going to go from the mid-30s this afternoon, but to the mid-20s by this evening. Widespread snow develops this evening, and we're going to have lake effect snow around during the day on Friday. We also see the wind increase very drastically during this afternoon and into this evening. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. A wind advisory has been issued by the National Weather Service. We're going to see those winds stay up through the weekend. Your Yorkville Battery live radar, while that wind advisory does expire tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., we are still going to see windy conditions for the next several days. Taking a look at Rome right now, still reporting the 10-mile-an-hour wind, but that's much different than the calm conditions we saw earlier this morning. 37 degrees, still holding on there. We haven't started our drop at Griffiths just yet. That widespread snow breaks out just before the evening hours tonight. We're expecting a widespread 1 to 3 inches, and this snow map goes through the day on Friday. We're going to see additional light snow during the day on Friday. 1 to 3 inches across central New York, some higher amounts both southwest and northwest of Utica. Across the higher elevations, 3 to 5 inches is possible. We are expecting that hard freeze to occur this afternoon and evening, and anything untreated will be icy this evening. It is going to drop back below freezing for the first time in several days, and as it does so, we're going to have this disturbance work in from the west. It's going to overspread central New York right around the sunset hour, and we're going to see a steady snow into the overnight before things become more scattered. Again, it stays windy through the next 3 days, really until Saturday evening. We start to see some relief in the wind, but it's still breezy on Sunday. It's not enough to call it calm winds yet. We're going to be still dealing on Sunday. It's still 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, just not 30 to 35. Taking a look at your skycast for this afternoon, primarily just a couple of flurries across the region as temperatures begin to drop. As we head into the the later afternoon hours and the early evening, that snow begins to work in from the west. It overspreads central New York. We drop down very quickly. We go from the mid-30s right now, 8:30 p.m., 23 in Utica, 17 in Old Forge. We're really going to see temperatures drop very quickly. Widespread snow becomes more localized overnight. As we head into Friday morning, you can see some of those lake effect snow bands develop. Very scattered light lake effect snow showers during the day on Friday. Second half of Friday looks relatively calm with partly sunny skies. Another shot of very light snow as we work into Saturday morning, but it doesn't last. By daybreak, we're already seeing sun poking through at 7:30 a.m. It's going to be a little bit chilly, but all in all, it's going to be a pleasant Saturday. It's going to be a calm Saturday. Tonight, though, be careful. We're going to get cold again, and it's going to happen this afternoon. Snow showers and wind overnight, but again, that flash freeze occurs this afternoon. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, we get hopefully what is our last shot of winter over the next 2 days, and then we have a wintry day on Saturday, but it's calm, it's dry for the Heart Walk. It's going to be chilly, though. It's going to definitely be low to mid 20s. There's going to be a breeze out there, so you're going to want to bundle up if you're going out for the Heart Walk this year.
But the weather has been worse. We have had rain pelting you in the face.
I can vouch.
Yeah, exactly. Bitter cold temperatures. This is not going to be that.
And we're looking at a major warm-up next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, James. Well, an update now on this
with Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
The state attorney general today announced that her office will not further investigate the death last weekend of Mate State Correctional Facility inmate Messiah Nantwi.
Yeah, the AG's office confirmed that 4 corrections officers involved in the events preceding Nantwi's death are defendants in other matters where they're represented by attorneys in the Attorney General's office. And as is the case with the Marcy Correctional for the morning commute, the Oriskany Creek overflowed its banks this morning between Route 233 and Limberlost Road. You should never drive through a flooded roadway because you don't know if the pavement below is washed out. Again, Route 5 is back open.
I didn't know who was driving that bus in the other video, but they should not be driving through, never drive through that kind of stuff, right?
No, that can cause problems, especially if the water's a lot deeper than you think.
Absolutely.
So we're tracking some colder weather in our future. We're moving away from the flooding concerns. We're keeping an eye on area streams and creeks. The Sequoia Creek here to my right has been going down throughout the day, and without any additional significant rainfall, we are going to be in much better shape going forward, at least in that department. We are tracking some snow, some wind. We have a secondary cold front about ready to move through, and we will see a widespread burst of some light snow here this evening. Temperatures will fall below freezing, so that's going to instigate a freeze. We're sitting at 29 degrees. We just fell below freezing over the last hour at Griffiths and Rome, so any untreated surfaces that have snow melt could get slippery as we head into the next couple of hours. We're tracking widespread, generally light snow over the next 24 hours, but there will be 2 bands of snow that could produce a few inches of accumulation, 3 to 5 inches of snow generally west of Utica. Temperatures will continue to fall into the 20s this evening. It will be cold and windy. We're tracking when the weather starts to warm up again and look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
$90 million is now available to help local.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking windy, colder weather over the next 24 hours, along with lake effect snow. Let's take a live look outside. This is downtown Utica, where it's been a cloudy and generally dreary day, but really not much precipitation to be had, at least not yet. We are tracking some snow that will be moving in over the next hour from the west. There is a secondary cold front that will instigate not only snow, but also lake effect snow. And this will be developing here as we head into this evening. Wind advisories remain in effect through early tomorrow morning. Wind gusts up to about 40 to 45 miles an hour are expected. The winds are going to continue tonight. I know a lot of times, especially this time of the year, the winds start to ease back at night. That's not going to be the case. It's expected to be windy tonight. throughout with, again, wind gusts between about 40 to 45 miles an hour. Windy on Friday, windy on Saturday, less wind Sunday, windy on Monday. It's not to the level that generally causes damage. That's about 50 miles an hour. That separates damaging winds from winds that are uncomfortable, certainly to be outdoors. Power outages, possible, but they should be very limited under these conditions. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. And of course, with that wind, it's going to make it feel colder. Don't forget, we spring ahead this weekend. Saturday night, going to bed, clocks will go ahead 1 hour. Our new sunset time will be after 7 in the evening, but we also lose an hour of daylight in the morning. Whitesboro, checking in with, I should say, Westerville, 32 degrees, Deansboro, 27, Little Falls, 34. Temperatures are falling below freezing this evening, so watch out for untreated surfaces. They could be a little bit slippery overnight, only out at 28 degrees. Temperatures will fall into the low 20s tonight. As we look at the radar and satellite image, again, this cold front rolls through, producing some lake effect snow showers tonight. Temperatures drop down into the low 20s. Friday morning, there's expected to be a band of lake effect snow, especially west of Utica. It looks relatively narrow, but it could produce some problems for the Friday morning commute. That band of snow will start to break apart as the sun pokes out Friday. Temperatures will climb into the low 30s, and it looks to be a windy afternoon. Snow generally comes to an end Friday night. Could be a few lingering flurries and snow showers. And then just a cold, generally dry Saturday. In terms of snowfall amounts, tonight and Friday, we pick up a general 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. But in that narrow band of lake effect snow, there could be 3 to 5 inches of snow. The placement of that band looks to be across southern Oneida County, Madison County, southern Herkimer, and northeastern Otsego County. Tonight, snow showers, windy 21. Snow showers continue tomorrow. High temperature of 36. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather does warm up. On Monday, a warm front arrives and it brings a few snow showers early in the day. Temperatures climb into the 50s on Tuesday, and we stay in thaw mode with temperatures in the upper 40s Wednesday and Thursday.
Ooh. All right, little peaks of sunshine for
little
park
bit of
run
sunshine.
And walk.
Should be nice for Saturday, but dress nice and warm because we've got the wind.
Yeah, no doubt.
Temperatures will be in the teens.
Bill, thank you.
Bill. A winter storm system that brought blinding snow, winds, and tornadoes to parts of the country finally has moved offshore.
Yeah, but in its wake, at least 5 people were killed. Laura Aguirre reports on the new weather threats.
Dry, gusty winds continue to roar across parts of the Gulf and Central regions today, putting over 3 million people under red flag warnings. The fire risk exacerbated by ongoing drought conditions there. The worst of the threat expected across western Texas, where fire crews have already battled a number of devastating wildfires in central and southeastern parts of the state this week. And potential fires are just one risk at the mercy of the winds.
The balloon was huge, like huge, humongous.
Humongous indeed. This surveillance blimp used by U.S. Customs and Border Protection was blown nearly 600 miles from its dock on South Padre Island to the town of Quinlan. It landed on a power pole, but not before clipping at least one house on the way down.
It's just a lot of missing pieces, like broken pieces.
Wind appeared to break a lot of things around the eastern half of the U.S. overnight as well. It caused some power lines to snap and pop near Kansas City and snapped a couple of trees there and elsewhere.
We heard a big, loud noise.
In a moment, this Wichita resident lost much of his roof and both of his cars. Parts of the central and Midwest are still digging out after blizzard conditions yesterday. Not an easy task given how savage the winds and whiteout conditions were just around 24 hours ago. As this system moves into the Atlantic, all eyes shift to the West Coast, where winter storm alerts and warnings are in place from eastern California into central Iowa. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Coming up, Colgate gets to work defending its title in the Patriot. Back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
We're tracking the weather heading into the weekend for the Heart Run. It is looking cold. Temperatures will be in the 20s, but we'll have a wind from the west, which will make it feel like single digits to teens. So dress nice and warm if you are heading out for that. The good news is that it does look pretty quiet weather-wise. And if we're lucky, we should get some breaks of sunshine as well. But again, Saturday looks to be a cold day. We are tracking some snow moving in from the west. It is widespread. And it will be around for this evening. Most of us pick up a quick inch of accumulation with this over the next couple of hours. There will be some lake effect snow that will develop tonight and continue into tomorrow. With that in mind, if you're taking the dog out for a walk, just watch on untreated surfaces. We could have a few slippery spots as temperatures fall below freezing. Tonight's featured dog is Maddie from New Hartford. This is brought to you by Nissan. We're tracking some cold weather this weekend, but also a warm-up looking ahead. A look at the forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The first 5 Whitesboro homes that are part of the federal buyout due to persistent flooding are expected to close in the next few weeks. They're starting with unoccupied homes. There are about 30 of those. There were around 140 total that were interested in these federal buyouts. Now, the federal government advances the town of Whitestown the money, and they pay the homeowners and become the owners of the homes.
Based on where we are with these first 5, I would say the first 5 closings should happen in April, I would think. Again, you know, really the outstanding piece is the titles, and we're close to having all of those done.
Once the town owns the homes, it's not over. Then remediation of the hazardous materials, demolition, and repurposing takes place, and that will not include rebuilding homes.
A week from today, the Oneida County Executive will present a housing market report, and you're invited. Anthony Pizzenti says housing is a critical piece in preparing for the future of the county. It's a way to attract more business. The Commission of Housing Inventory Assessment was created in 2023 to address needs and gaps in housing. And as part of the process, an online survey was conducted last fall. The meetings are March 13th at Thinkubator on Broad Street in Utica. The first session is 11:30 a.m. The second session, 5:30. That's p.m., not a.m., p.m. And that's coming up, again, a week from today.
Have you filed your taxes yet? If not, you're not allowed.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking some snow working in from the west tonight. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. A temperature of 27 degrees, and it's quiet for now, but there's some snow working in, and it is already in Rome. And this line is continuing to march to the east. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Do expect widespread snow as this line moves east. At times the visibility will drop, but in terms of overall impact, again, it's been a little while since we've seen snow. About a week or so since it's been widespread like this. It will have some impact on the roads, but I think it'll be okay to get around. Just keep in mind that there could be a couple of slippery spots on untreated surfaces as temperatures continue to fall below freezing this evening. It's also windy out there. We have wind advisories in effect. The winds are going to continue tonight. We'll see gusts up to 40, 45 miles an hour. That's below what we would consider damaging winds or winds that would be very likely to create power outages. Can't rule them out, but that's usually the exception rather than the rule. The least windiest day of the next 4, Sunday, and then winds return on Monday. It's just that time of the year. It's usually March, of course, coming in like a lion, but around here, March usually goes out like a lion, too. Mike in New Hartford, 30 degrees, Barneveld, 29, Norway, 30 degrees, Jeff and Mohawk, 32, Worcester, 33, Dave in Westford with 31. Another cold front moves through, producing some widespread snow. There will be lake effect snow in its wake. That'll be localized and generally west of Utica tonight. Temperatures will fall into the 20s. Again, watch out for a few icy spots on untreated surfaces. Friday morning, there will be a narrow, thin band of lake effect snow to the west of Utica. It does have impact on travel in parts of the area. This band of snow will start to break apart in the afternoon. We'll have on and off snow showers. Things will gradually wind down as we head into Friday evening. Still a few lingering snow showers Friday night. We do get a chance to dry out on Saturday. It's cold, it's windy. Temperatures will be in the low 20s in the morning. We'll climb into the upper 20s in the afternoon. The snowfall forecast for tonight and tomorrow, looking at a general 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. This is where we think that band of lake effect snow will be most persistent, both south of the Mohawk Valley as well as the secondary band to the north In these zones, we're talking about the possibility of 3 to 5 inches of accumulation. Again, this is generally outside of the Mohawk Valley, but affecting parts of the Tug Hill and some of the higher elevations across Madison County. It remains windy tonight. Snow showers, 21 for the overnight low. A few slippery spots here and there tomorrow morning. High temperature of 36. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cold over the weekend. Not as cold as last weekend. Don't forget we changed the clocks this weekend. We spring ahead. The weather will feel more spring-like as we head into next week with high temperatures close to 50 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be right back.
Curtis, weather is your deal, but this was sent in to you today. Tell me all about this.
Yeah, so this was a local viewer that's on vacation, I'm assuming. I've got a video of this. This was in the Florida Keys. Had a great view of this breakup and actually caught some of the flight. You can actually see some, it looked like debris was coming out of it.
Oh, it broke up for sure.
Yeah, but able to capture this earlier this evening.
Right in here, yeah.
And you can see that all breaking apart. So yeah, pretty jaw-dropping video for sure.
Absolutely.
As far as our local weather goes, it's more like shivering weather here. We've got some snow, it's windy, it's cold. We also have that wind advisory that remains in effect until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wind gusts are expected to be about 40 to 45 miles an hour. Current temperature 27 degrees. We are tracking widespread snow. That west-northwest wind at 25 miles an hour makes it feel like 12. There will be some light accumulation tonight. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, the snow is widespread this evening. It turns more localized tonight as lake effect develops. Temperatures will drop into the low 20s with snow showers overnight. We're tracking some snow showers for tomorrow morning's commute. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We received calls and emails.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. Some light snow continues to fall. It's windy. It's colder. You can see the roads are generally wet. The main roads are okay. The side roads are going to be a little bit slippery heading into tonight, as well as for your morning commute tomorrow. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Widespread light snow continues to fall across central New York. There's some embedded heavier bands located in Madison and southern Oneida County. We will see more of a consolidated band of lake effect snow develop tonight and into tomorrow. Stays breezy, downright windy over the next couple of days. Wind gusts between about 30 to 40 miles an hour expected tomorrow, Saturday, as well as Monday. It's still breezy on Sunday, but the winds will die down somewhat temporarily. Season snowfall for Utica, over 100 inches. We haven't been adding much over the last 7 days, so our departure from average is now below 20 inches. We will pick up a little bit of snow heading into tonight. Another reminder, we changed the clocks over the weekend. We spring ahead 1 hour, which means our new sunset time will be 7 o'clock. Our new sunrise time, 7:22 a.m. So we gain daylight at the end, but we lose it in the beginning, a trade-off. So we look at the radar and satellite image. Scattered snow showers are taking place tonight in the wake of a cold front. Some lake effect snow will continue overnight, most steadiest south and west of Utica. Temperatures will be in the 20s tomorrow afternoon. We'll climb into the low 30s later in the day. Lake effect snow showers will continue. A chance of some snow showers tomorrow night, but in general, the weather dries out for Saturday. For the Heart Run, it looks cold and dry. Temperatures will be in the low 20s in the morning. It's going to feel like teens throughout most of the day, but it does look like we'll see some sunshine late in the day. Temperatures will start to warm up as we look ahead to Sunday and early next week. 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected for most areas tonight. In the more persistent bands of lake effect, 3 to 5 inches is expected, and that's generally south and west of Utica. Tonight, snow showers, windy, 21 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, scattered snow showers, windy, 36. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's cold Saturday, 28. Sunday, we're up to 35. We spring forward. Again, we change the clocks. Monday, light snow showers, 42. We climb into the 50s as we look ahead to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. We'll be right back.